If you are someone who is a beginner to eyeshadows, or maybe you're intimidated so you just don't ever wear it, I'm going to share with you my top 5 tips that I wish somebody had shared with me when I was learning how to do eyeshadow. If you find yourself frustrated because your eyeshadow is not lasting all day, or you're noticing creasing happening, it's probably because you're not properly priming. So let me show you how. Either you grab your favorite primer, or you can use your brightening highlight and setting powder to do the exact same. To prime our lids, we're going to grab our brightening highlight, and you just need a tiny bit, and place that all over the movable lid space all the way up to the brow bone. Then I'm going to grab my eyeshadow brush, dip into my Vanilla Dust setting powder, and I am going to set the primer. This is going to minimize creasing. So if you are one that struggles with applying eyeshadow or to blend your eyeshadow, it might be because you're not using the proper tool, which brings me to tip number 2. You need the right tool for the job. For an eyeshadow brush, one end having a fluffy end is going to be ideal for blending, and then the other end is you want a more dense end to pick up more pigment so that you can properly place it with precision. Let me show you how this works. But first, I'm going to have to hit tip number 3 is actually to start with a more neutral palette. This is going to be very easy to work with. It's going to be universally flattering on all skin tones, and then you can easily build these. Starting with the fluffy end of our brush, we're going to go into our base color. This is going to go all over the lid up to our brow. Then we're going to go into our transition color, still using the fluffy end, and start wiggling that in our crease and above our crease. A couple of key points that I want to mention when we're building this transition. This is the foundation for our overall look, and we want to start building this slowly. It's much easier to add color than it is to take away. So what I always do is I start on the outer corner here, and then I pull the color into the inner eye using a windshield wiper motion. You want to keep more of the darker color on the outer part. Now going in with the smaller, more dense end of the brush, we're going to go into our darkest color. This is going to start to build the definition and lift. So a really easy tip is that you almost want to just take and make a line from the outer part of your eye up towards that brow bone, and then come in just slightly, keeping it on the outer third of the eye. Once we have applied that there, we can switch over to the fluffy end, and we can just softly blend that, keeping that darkest color on the outer third of the eye, taking it up towards the brow bone to create a nice lift. Now, without adding more color, we're going to take what is left on that brush and bring it underneath the eye. Brings me to tip number 4. A thick, dark eyeliner can actually age us and make our eyes look smaller. So if we just use the darkest color of eyeshadow that we have, just what's left over on our brush, we can still get that nice definition without it aging our eyes. Tip number 5 will actually finish off our eye look, but as mature women, yes, you can wear a shimmer. I prefer to put that right on mid pupil and then take it into the inner corner. I think this gives it a nice bright opening effect without giving the opportunity of it falling over in this area, which is where most of mature women have majority of our texture and our fine lines and our wrinkles. So that is key. It's really the placement of those shimmers that are key to making our mature eyes still look beautiful, vibrant, and youthful. And even though that we're done with the tips, I'm going to tell you one little thing, because I see it happened over here. If you ever get a little bit of fallout from your eyeshadow and you've already put your foundation on, no worries. Go back in with a little bit of that fluffy brush, get the most minimal amount of product that you possibly can, and just clean up that outer eye area. One, it's going to give you a great extra added lift. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments which tip you found the most helpful.